Hello, everybody. It's Elaine, the Animal Reiki Lady. Welcome to SoulPet. This is the channel dedicated to helping all of those who are working through the grief of losing a soul pet, and now we're adding a soul human, any kind of soul companion that you may be experiencing loss about. That's what we're going to be talking about on this channel, and tonight specifically. So hello, everybody. It is great to see you. This is a live stream, so we have a lot of interaction. I look at a lot of questions. I want to say hello to all of my channel members and everybody who's joining me live tonight. But first, if you do happen to be navigating, journeying through the grief of losing an animal companion who has crossed to the other side, or any loved one who has crossed to the other side, this is the community for you. We talk about everything, and you will find here a beautiful community of supporters who just hold each other. We offer virtual hugs every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. And we talk about all the things that we're going through, and we're talking about all the emotions. For those of you who may be new to the channel, you'll know that you won't know that I recently experienced a personal loss of my own. Not an animal companion, but my soulmate. And so we're working through all of that. And tonight I want to talk specifically about giving yourself permission. And I promise I'll say hello to everybody in just a moment. I see all your comments popping up. Permission. Up until about an hour ago, maybe a little bit longer than an hour ago, I had no idea what I was going to be talking about tonight. I couldn't get myself off of the couch. I was wrapped up in a blanket, and there I sat all day long, just even wondering if I was going to be able to do this live stream tonight. My loss is very recent. It's still very fresh. I did go live last week with all the details because I needed to share. I needed to share with you guys, with my community, with my beautiful soul tribe. And today I didn't know what I was going to do. And then I just took a nice little rest and I gave myself permission not to know. I gave myself permission just to let things flow the way they would flow. And as soon as I did that, I knew what I had to talk about. Permission. Permission to grieve, permission to be kind to yourself, permission to feel joy again, permission to laugh, permission to cry, permission just to be you, permission to do. I came up with like six permissions. I called it the six permissions, but they're just that's just a random number. It can be anything. Permission to eat whatever food you want. Permission to drink a glass of wine if that's what you want. We're going to talk about all of those permissions tonight. But first, I do like to say hello to everybody. I welcome all of my channel members first. So if you're not familiar with the live stream setup, the format of a live stream, go ahead and you're looking just for the content, you might want to scroll ahead 5 minutes or so before we really dive into the content because I like to say hello to everyone and I like to look at questions that have been posted. But if you are being called to this live stream for any reason whatsoever, maybe you want that sense of community. We have a great tribe here. We hug I've received so many virtual hugs from everyone over these past 2 weeks that my heart is filled to the brim with all of the support and comfort that I've received from all of my beautiful community here. So let's say hello to everybody first, and then I'll take a look at questions. Pat, great to see you. Hello. Sherry, awesome to see you. Kali, fantastic to have you here. Oh gosh, why do I? Oh, Z, that's right. Yes, Z, right. Okay. All of a sudden, I couldn't remember who 7272B was. Kathy H, great to see you. Mel, it is great to have you here also. Kali, I think I already said hello to Kali, but I'll say hello to Kali again. One of my biggest supporters, and I can't tell you how much your support means to me. Sherry, I said hello. All right, so I don't see a lot of other channel members on just yet, but we'll see who else jumps on. But hello to everybody else. So Jody, hello. And I don't, well, 1983. I'm not sure what your name is, but I'm happy to say hello to you. And if you want to share your name, I'll be happy to shout it out loud. Charlie, hello. Julie, oh, great to see you. And Anne, also. Scooby, now 24. Oh my gosh. Snooper's mama. Hello. I miss you too. We need to connect. We absolutely need to connect. And I thank you so much for all these beautiful hugs. Let's take a look at quick questions and then we're going to jump into permission. and what permission means. And I'm really looking forward now to talking about this. If 2 hours ago I was dreading what I was going to talk about, now I'm feeling energized. So Pat says, practicing communication skills by trying to reach out to your dad who has passed. And I saw another comment about Shar, you're saying not sure about connecting with humans. Let's talk about that for a second. On this channel, we talk about connecting with the souls of our soul companions, whether they are four-legged, two-legged, furry, our spouse, our partner, our a sister, a brother, a mother, a father, whoever those people are, their souls on the other side. We talk about how to connect. Now, my focus primarily on this channel has been connecting with animals on the other side. It was your beautiful animal companions that had come through to me so clearly and allowed me to share so much and have taught me so much and allowed me to open so many doors. And so I love being able to connect with animals. And Sherry, I'm right with you in that I always thought I would just stay with animals. And of course, it wasn't until my husband passed, and not just my husband, but my father, even a couple years ago, opened some doors for connecting with people. And now I don't look at it as animals or people. I look at this as connecting with souls on the other side. And it does not matter. We do the same. I'm even kind of moving away from the word rituals, but we learn to make the connection through certain practices and certain habits, and the way that we carry ourselves in our heart and our mind, and the way that we can be coherence. That's the word I'm looking for. The way that we create coherence that allows us to make these connections. So I do connect with my dad, and I've talked to my beautiful mother-in-law, Nana. I've talked to her frequently, and now that my hubby is on the other side, I've talked to him as well, but I'll be quite honest that I'm not quite ready. I don't feel ready yet to make the kind of connection I know that we're going to make. Have I received signs? Absolutely, from even before he crossed, from the moment that he crossed. Have I seen interesting signs, fun signs? Yes. Have I heard his voice in my head as we've done certain things? I absolutely have, as my kids and I take care of all the details that come with a person after they transition. We've laughed, we've cried, and I know that I've heard his voice in my head joking with me at certain things, but I'm not 100% there yet, Sherry. I'm not quite ready to make that deep of a connection. There's no rules for this. We're not going to miss any opportunities. He's not over there tapping his foot, asking me when I'm going to be ready. It's all in our own time and all on our own journey. So as I continue to share these messages with you, I'm going to be sharing ways that I connect with all souls on the other side. Not necessarily tonight. It's a little fresh yet for me to be talking about that. But I'm going to continue sharing these messages to help all of us be able to understand that our connection with souls on the other side of the veil is real, it's valid, and we can do it, and we don't have to, but we don't have to feel pressure. There may be people who don't ever want to, who just want to know that they're still loved, that their animal companions with them in spirit guiding them. And that's all fine too. There are no rules with this. And I will continue to guide you in the best way that I am inspired to guide you, because it's the beautiful animal collective that inspires me. So Pat, yeah, all of those things. When we start to notice the synchronicities about hearing our animal companion's name, or mentioning a state like Kentucky, you hear it over and over again. Those are when we start to pay attention, those synchronicities hold meaning. Sometimes when we are in the depth of grief, those synchronicities are occurring, but we can't see them. We're just not prepared to see them. But once we start to recognize that synchronicities are a natural way of being, then we can listen to our intuition. We start to be able to trust our intuition more. And Pat, you're on the right track with all of that. Will I be working with the end of life chaplains you met in hospice? They're the first people who I plan to reach out to. The class that I'm going to be taking doesn't start until February, which is perfect for me because I think I need these next couple months to really allow myself to feel into where I want to go with that. And yes, I will be reaching out to those chaplains, especially the one who expressed his concerns about not being able to be present for his dog. So yes, I will be. I'm not formally, but that is my plan to reach out to them. reaching out to animals you're comfortable with, kind of talked all of that. Wookie and Odo, I love to mention all of our beautiful animal companions' names. Phoebe just jumps right to my mind. Scout jumps right to my mind too. All right, let's see what else we've got. All right, we're gonna let that go, let that go. Sharon, I didn't say hello. Hello, hello. It's good to see you. How am I holding up? Also, you look 18. You're so cute. That means you look 18 is going to be jumping on here any minute now. Um, I am holding up okay, and we're going to talk about that when I talk about the permissions. As I mentioned 2 hours ago, I would have told you that I was not holding up okay. It comes in waves. There are times when I just have no energy whatsoever. It's exhausting. The emotional toll that it takes is exhausting. The things that have to be done that we have created for ourselves here on this planet that have to be done, it's exhausting. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. Okay, and you're not late. Nobody's late. Thank you for the hugs. And all right, I think we're ready to get moving. I have trouble being mad that I have trouble being mad that I lost them. Sad and mad. I understand that also. I know that one of my children, both of my children actually, have expressed to me anger. Not at me, not directed at me, but this feeling that they had, not only of the grief, but of being unable to control the circumstances. That there was some anger. I'm not gonna give you the whole story, but there was some anger, and working through that is part of working through the grief. So would I add that to my list, to my list of six? Give yourself permission to be angry? Yeah, yes, I will. Give yourself permission to feel however you need to feel, to lean into your emotions. We have these emotions for a reason, and we are learning to process them as we go through. This was traumatic. I talked last week about the trauma that I think that we were holding in our bodies, having been present during the passing of a loved one, and through the whole process that we had to go through. So anger is a very natural thing, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And it's just holding on to that anger, maybe, could be something that really keeps us from making the kind of connection that we want to make. But it's okay. It's okay to be sad and mad. And maybe I'll add a little bit more to that as we talk. So this is what I want to talk, and I've made myself copious notes again tonight. I don't know that I'm going to make it the whole hour because I am still very tired. If you can't see the bags under my eyes, it's only because I have like coats of makeup on. It's a tiring thing, but I'm gonna continue to say that this is gentle. I'm gonna be gentle and tender with myself as we move on. I still got my tissues by my side just in case. But we're gonna reflect on all of these things, and hopefully you can find meaning in them, and you will. And it's not. This is not just about me. This is not the let's all give Elaine a hug show. This is about how we can all together support each other. And I hope that the beautiful animals and my hubby and my nana and my dad, that everyone there, I have a beautiful team on the other side that I hope that they will give me the right words that will help everyone. So let's talk about, first of all, why I think permission is important. So as soon as I said the word permission, as soon as I sat on the sofa, wrapped in a blanket, watching Netflix with my dog by my side, I realized permission. Permission is the perfect thing. Permission because what I could have been is frozen in grief. What I could have been, oh, expectation. That's the other word I wrote down. The expectation that I think others have, not just I, the expectations of others on us. Think about yourselves, whether it is an employer or family or friends, the expectations of, hey, I have a new SoulPet member. Hello, hello, Snoopers Mama. The expectations that others have of us that we sometimes make up. Like sometimes we believe that others have expectations of us that they don't. And more importantly, expectations of myself. When I sat on the sofa today, I had an expectation that I was supposed to do a live stream tonight. I have made a commitment that every Monday night, with only the rare instance where I can't do it, that every Monday night I want to be on this channel. I want to be connecting with my community. I want to be offering support to others. And and I have that expectation of myself. So I hold myself to high standards. But I also have to be me. One of the questions that came up after I did the live stream last week was, how could I do it? Like, how could it, only a week after my husband's passing, could I hold it together enough to do a live stream about that topic and about the topic of loss? Because I have to be me. I just have to be me. And this is who I am. I feel called not only to talk about this, but I feel called to support others. I feel called to do this. And so I do it. And now that calling has grown even deeper, as you know from last week. If you saw the video last week, that calling has expanded itself. And I won't say no. And this is who I am. So I have to be me. Social pressures. So societal pressures to move on. We've mentioned this word a couple of times, move on. There's no need to move on. I flipped that on its head. As I was writing about permissions tonight, I wrote that there's no moving on. There's moving forward, but there does not have to be any moving on. Cheryl, how you doing, Ms. None, you New York business? Um, so I got distracted. I should hide the comments. I really should hide the comments, but I can't because it's who we are. That's who we are as part of this community is like this wonderful back and forth, this wonderful give and take. So the pressures to move on, I say we don't move on, but we can move forward. That friends and family may not always understand the depth of a bond. Now that's when we're kind of talking about animal companions. I think everybody, I I have heard many, many times over the past couple of weeks about what it's like to lose a spouse and the comfort that people have offered me and I get and it's you're so right. Everybody is so understanding and so supportive. But oftentimes when it is an animal companion, they're not that supportive. And we've talked about this many times too, that we're told it's just a cat and it's okay to move on. Snooper's mom knows that those words came out of my mouth about someone that we worked with. It's just a cat. It's okay to move on. Oh my gosh. Until we both knew, right? Until we both knew that that is so not the case. Um, that so under finding empathy for the depth of the feeling. Z, I know that you know this with pockets. That depth of the bond that we had with our animal companions goes so much deeper than any of us could than most people understand that it does, unless you've got a soul pet, and then that understanding is there. And then denying ourselves normal human emotions. That part about being mad, it's a normal human emotion. There is no reason to deny your emotion, and whether that is being mad or being angry or laughing, laughing after someone has crossed. My kids and I laughed over a couple of things. I mean, we roared over some things, and it's good. It felt good to do so. Normal human emotions. So permission. Permission gives us space. Permission gives us room to breathe. Permission, yeah, that's it. It opened up space for me when I realized that I could just give myself permission to let things flow tonight the way that they would. And as soon as that space opened, I felt like this big sigh of relief, and I was able to move forward with tonight. So what are my permissions? The first one is the permission to cry. Even saying the word cry makes me want to cry. The permission to cry. Crying is crying is a release, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how important it is to cry, and why, as a society, at least in the Western society, the difference between men and women and tears. And I think it's eased quite dramatically since I was a young girl that it's okay for men to cry. I think more and more men are giving themselves permission to cry. But it is when the crying happens at the most inopportune times, when you're walking through a store. Like, this is a laugh and a cry at the same time. My husband at Home Depot. He went to Home Depot every single day, 24/7. If they closed for Christmas, he'd have been waiting for the day after Christmas. He loved Home Depot. I had to go to Home Depot, and it was both tears of loss and also laughter at the same time, like laughing through tears as I'm in the Home Depot, where people must have thought I was a crazy woman, but if only they understood. And I think they might have if they'd have realized who my husband was, that they would have understood. So tears are wonderful, and we just go with them. And so what if they come at a time that we least expect? It's okay to cry. It is okay to cry. And tears, here's the other place I was going to go with tears. Tears are water. Uh, tears are tears are they carry emotion. So when we release that energy, when we release those feelings through tears, it is allowing that emotion to physically release from our body. It's not just about the wet thing coming down our face. It's about the release of emotion that the tears are allowing. So I think tears are beautiful in that way because they are a reflection of our love and are allowing us to release some of those denser emotions that might otherwise be tied up in our body. When I mentioned that the difference between men and women and why I wish that we would teach our men more that it is okay to cry, it's because those emotions get bottled up. If we do not release them, they become bottled up and they get bottled up in our body and it becomes dis-ease. So, not just disease, it becomes dis-ease within our body when we keep emotions bottled up and we don't deal with them and we don't find a way to release them. It's why last week I mentioned the reflexology, and Reiki will do the same thing, and a massage will do the same thing. Just help get rid of the tension that we're holding in our body, allow it to flow out of our body. And tears are one way to do that. And tears honor love, and tears they're sacred. It's sacred. Think about the tears flowing from your eyes as you are going through the loss of a loved one, the loss of a soul pet or the loss of a soul companion. Those tears are beautiful, sacred memories. So allow them to fall and allow them to fall and don't be embarrassed by them and don't be angry at them and don't be judging yourself because you have tears falling out of your eyes. Let them flow. Let them flow because they're sacred. They're a sacred visual representation of the love that we felt for our loved ones. So your tears are it's love flowing out of your body. So accept them and love them as sacred. I'm going to check some comments here real quick. Um, Navigating grief with grace. Thank you so much. I'm trying. I'm not perfect, not by not by a long shot. I've had my moments. I have absolutely had my moments. I usually do them in private, but this helps me. Doing this really does help me as much as I hope that it's helping all of you guys. Um, Burst into tears in the middle of getting orders in the right. So yep, it is what it is. Yeah, in the dollar store. That's good. You need a permission slip. I love it. I love the permission slip. I love that permission slip. I'm writing that note down because I'm going to do a follow-up to this. I didn't have a chance to do my newsletter today. I usually send out the newsletter about 2 hours in advance of this live stream, and I just did not have the energy to do it. And I gave myself a permission slip not to do it. But I do want to do one tomorrow. I figured I could just do like a follow-up to this live stream. So permission slip it is. That's what it's going to be called. So the next permission number 2, is the permission to laugh. It is okay to laugh even when you're grieving. It's a normal part of life. In fact, laughter creates a healing vibration. If you can find it in your being to laugh after loss, you'll find that you feel better afterwards. It's this kind of like release valve that opens when you laugh. And I mentioned that my kids and I we laughed so hard over so many different things as we started to not only just memories, because I have to say my husband was a character. He was absolutely a character. Nobody lived life on their own terms the way that he did. If that's one memory that we all have, it is that he lived life on his own rules, by his own terms, and everybody should be able to live like that. But it created some hilarious memories. So we laughed and laughed. Laughter is not betrayal. Laughing is memory. Laughter is life continuing. Laughter is it's beautiful and healing, and the sense of it creates a literal vibration that is healing. It creates when you laugh out loud. I mean, if I started to laugh right now, like I could laugh and laugh and laugh. And if I started to laugh, and I dare you not to be smiling and laughing along with me as I laugh about like my memory in the Home Depot was hilarious. Or today, my son and I cleaned out my husband's truck. It was hilarious. So I dare you not to laugh as I just laughed. So you are allowed to remember with joy. You have permission to remember things with fondness and with joy and with laughter. And I love, oh, tears are a gift from the Holy Spirit. I love that. I'm sorry. I get distracted by comments every once in a while, and it is what it is. Tell you the second finding out, my heart dropped. But then I saw a man walking around and looked. She joined last week. I don't see her on here this week. Um, we both believe that that's true, and my daughter as well. That he's as the moment that his soul transitioned to the other side, he was like, "Well, I knew it all along. I was just playing my part in the game. I was just playing my part of the game. I knew it all along." And I know that he is ready to connect. I'm not 100% there yet. I just need a little bit more time before I dive into being able to make that connection. But I know that I have his support all the way now. Okay, I'm going to let the comments scroll for a little bit. Uh, Permission to rest. And maybe permission number three and number four go together. Permission to rest and permission to go slow. I mentioned that this has been exhausting. I had no idea. My logical mind was prepared for this eventuality until it actually happens. My logical mind was prepared for this eventuality because of physical health conditions that he experienced. But my emotional mind was not prepared for everything that went with it. And not just the grief, but everything. Everything has been exhausting. And I even do wish that I'd given myself a couple extra days. But it didn't set in right away. So think about this with your animal companions too. Um, it just didn't hit me right away. It didn't feel real. And when it did start to begin feeling real, that's when the exhaustion set in. It just became exhausting to even. I mentioned last week I hadn't even gone to check my mailbox. I have since, but I couldn't even bring myself to go to the mailbox. I was just so tired. So give yourself permission to rest. And it doesn't matter, again, I'll say it, four-legged, furry, feathered, finned, two-legged. The nature of the soul, who your soul was here on your soul companion was here on earth doesn't matter. That they were your soul companion and they've crossed to the other side and you've been left behind. That is what matters, and it's exhausting. And resting is not laziness. That's the other thing. So I'm a workaholic. I'm an overachiever. I know this. I recognize this in myself, and I try to give myself grace with that too. That I don't have to do everything. I don't have to do everything, and I don't have to do everything alone. The same goes for you. You don't have to do this alone. That's one of the biggest messages that we share here on this channel is that there is a community behind you and you don't have to go it alone and you can ask for help. So rest isn't laziness. Rest is recovery. Rest is recovery. Rest is recuperation. Rest is rejuvenating. Rest is a good thing. It's a good thing to rest. You cannot be at your best for others if you are not fully rested yourself. So there's rest. Permission number four, the permission to go slow. The permission just to take a step back and take your time. Healing is not a race. There's no clock that is timing healing. There may be expectations of others on how you should heal. I think about my time back to being in human resources. So I'm in human resources, and we're creating our handbook for employees. And in that handbook is a period of time that you are permitted to have bereavement leave. So, and we defined each of those things. We defined how many days you get for the loss of this person, how many days you get for the loss of this person, how many days you get for the loss of that person. It was all outlined. Very, very, very logical, there's no such thing as an amount of time. How could we be so linear about that? It's impossible. It's impossible to understand how much time one person may need to grieve over another person. And you know what was not in our employee handbook? Pet bereavement. Pet bereavement. I would go back and I would fight for that until my last breath for bereavement leave for animal companions. We need it. We cannot expect people to go back into the workplace and to pick up right where they left off after someone who means their life to them, someone who has spent all of their time, sleeps in their bed, who cuddles with them, who has seen all their tears, who has never judged them, who has been their unconditional partner in this life. We need pet bereavement. So anybody who might still be in human resources, we need to push for that. Okay, so where was I saying? That was where did that come from? Pet bereavement came from the permission to go slow. So grief is, if you, I'm going to mention the term neuroplasticity. So, neuroplasticity is the condition in our brain. We've always been taught that an old dog can't be taught new tricks, and now we understand that that's not true. That brains continue to they continue to wire and rewire right up until the very end. Our brain is always growing and changing, and it is influenced by the things that we experience, and it is influenced by our emotions. I usually focus on this in a positive way, that we can rewire our brain for anything, and we can rewire it so that we can connect with souls on the other side. We can rewire the brain. Why is that word so hard for me to say? Rewire the brain for anything. For we can do it for our health. We can do it for our intuition. We can do all kinds of things. We can make physical changes in our body just by working with that neuroplasticity. And you can learn anything at any point in time. The flip side of that is that grief and exhaustion also they go in there and they mess with all the wiring. They mess with all the circuitry in our brain. One of the things that I recognized today as I was laying on the couch was that I couldn't focus. I didn't have any focus. My mind just felt like it was in a fog. And that fogginess, if you've ever experienced foggy brain, which I'm pretty sure just about all of you have mentioned at one time or another, that foggy brain was my brain rewiring itself in a way that I would not want it to do. So I will make a conscious effort going forward every day. I like to do this in the morning when I wake up. 2 times a day would be ideal. Sometimes I forget. I would like to do this in the morning when I wake up, and I would like to do this in the evening when I go to sleep. I would like to remind myself of all the things that I'm grateful for. I would like to remind myself of all the beauty that is in my life and in this world. And I choose not to recognize all of the evil, and I choose not to recognize all the density. I choose not to engage in all of the things that hold my soul and spirit down. When I'm going to sleep, I focus on the beauty. I focus on the peace. I focus on the love. There is nothing more important to me than my peace of mind. That's what I remind myself before I fall asleep. And when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that pops out of my mouth is thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here to continue living. I'm here to continue sharing. And I am so grateful that this morning my eyes opened and once again, there is nothing more important to me than my peace of mind. And that's how I start my day. So that could be a way to kind of slow down. There's no timeline, and moving slow is moving wisely. That was another word that popped up for me, wisdom. Having the wisdom to recognize when I need to take time for myself, having the wisdom to recognize when you need to take time for yourself, having the wisdom to recognize that slowing down is positive, that we live in a world, and we talk about this all the time, guys, when we want to connect with our animal companions on the other side, one of the things that is preventing that is the pace at which we are moving. We are stressed out human beings who are always move, 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 move. When we can take that time to step back, slow down, quiet our mind, begin thinking with our heart, then the connection begins to happen. Then we let go of all that monkey mind chatter going on in the back of our mind, and we make the connection with our animal companions on the other side. So take life at the speed that your heart can handle. That's there's no There's no speed at which you have to operate. You operate at your own pace. What your heart can handle, that's as far as you go. And when your heart says nope, 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 no more, then it's okay. Give yourself permission to step back. Permission number 5, the permission to feel joy. It's okay to feel joyful again, even the smallest joys. I love watching a sunset. I love looking at the stars. Looking at the stars fills my mind with joy, fills me with joy. And so why wouldn't I do that? I love to look up at the sky. I love to look at Orion. I love to look at Cassiopeia. I love to look at the Swan. I love to look at the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. I just love to watch the stars, and it brings me such joy. So allow your heart to be filled with joy, even if it's over the simplest of things. But you're allowed, you have permission to feel joy again. When your animal companion crosses, and you all of a sudden find yourself in a moment of feeling joy, don't feel guilty about that. You're not, it's not betrayal. It's not canceling out your grief because you happen to find a moment of happiness. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be happy. And that happiness in the next minute may flip on a dime, and the next thing you know, you're crying, right? You guys have been there. The next thing you know, you're crying or you're angry. That's okay too. You just wait for that next moment of joy. And each time, if you can hold on to that moment of joy for just a second longer than you did the moment before, you will it opens the door to more healing. Like joy feeds joy. It will continue to feed joy, and happiness will continue to feed happiness. And that one smile will bring the next smile, will bring the next smile. And pretty soon, your scales are going to be tipping so this way. So the grief is going to start to go down here, and the joy and the happiness are going to start to come up here. And the higher that you can raise your vibration that way, the easier it will be to connect with your soulmate on the other side. So you're not moving on from them. You are moving forward with them right by your side, remembering that our beautiful soulmates and our beautiful soul pets have endless patience because there's no such thing as time when they cross the veil. So they have endless patience. Okay, permission number six. Permission number six is the permission to heal. It is okay to heal. I wrote these couple things down, and so I'm just going to read them from my notes. The permission to heal. Healing isn't forgetting. Healing isn't replacing. Healing is not being disloyal. Healing is choosing life. Healing is choosing to move forward. Healing honors your loved ones who have crossed to the other side. Healing matters. Healing is what this channel is all about. Healing is why I became a Reiki master. Healing is why I now teach the classes that I teach. Healing is why I screwed up all of my courage and pressed my very first go live button. How long's it been now? Over 2 years? Healing is what did that. Healing is behind everything. So I give you permission to heal. And if today you don't feel like healing, that's okay too. But let the possibility of healing enter into your heart. I knew right away. I've known since Lucy. Um, I have known since my Lucy crossed back in 2020 that healing was my path forward, and healing, and it was my job. My job became helping others heal. And I don't mean that as like hold up my hands and you are healed, you are healed. I mean helping others work through the journey, helping others rise from the grief, helping others understand that their life matters and that you matter. And that's the kind of healing that I'm talking about. Um, and so healing matters. Healing honors them. Healing lifts their memory. Healing carries the love forward. Healing carries the love forward. Okay, I'm going to take another peek at comments because I see them scrolling by. Okay, so you guys are talking amongst yourselves, which is wonderful. That's the other part for anybody who's new to this channel. This beautiful community will hold each other, and you can. I mean, we talk back and forth, and we share advice, and we send virtual hugs, and yeah, heal by talking to Pockets about our secret of me knowing he's not really gone. I love that. I love that you have a secret, right? But that's one way to look at it. Like, I've got a secret. I've got a secret. And it is that Lucy is right here by my side. Lucy jumped on my bed last night. That's my secret. And it doesn't matter to me that if I were to speak that out loud to the stranger living next door, that they might not get it. Doesn't matter because all that matters is that Lucy knows that I see her, and Lucy knows that I know that she's there. Permission. Oh, look, there's permission number seven. I must have gone, I called it the six permissions and I must have gone further. Now it's eight permissions. And wait till I get to the wine part, then it's going to be nine. Permission to continue on, permission to move forward. So continuing on does not mean moving on. I'm just going to pull my notes up here again. Continuing on does not mean moving on. Continuing does not mean forgetting the past or erasing the past. It is Continuing is opening the next chapter. Instead of the book ending, so if we think that we've opened this book and we've had this life with our animal companions, and now they've crossed to the other side and we've reached the very end of the book, and the words are there, it says the end, and we close the book. It doesn't have to be that way at all. It's the next chapter. They are sharing that with us. They are sharing with us that when they cross to the other side, it is not the end. And it's not even just a shift, and it's not just an expansion or them changing. Even, all of those things apply, but it is the beginning of a new chapter, and they are trying to help us understand how to read and be part of that chapter. They're trying to get us, they're trying to help us understand what that next chapter looks like for us and how do we move forward with that. And I know that's part of the reason why they come to me and share these messages with you through me. It's because they're finding their way. They're finding the way to get through to us, to be able to help us to understand that it's just a chapter and that we have a next chapter too. So when it comes our time to cross to the other side of the veil, it's just another chapter in our existence, and those chapters are going to continue on and on. I have no idea what my next chapter looks like, but I'm intrigued. I anticipate it. Not that I want anything untoward to happen in the next like 30 seconds, but I anticipate it. I'm curious. I'm curious what that next chapter is going to look like for me. But until I get there, I'm ready to explore it with all the other animal companions and all my other soulmates and soul family members who are on the other side. So it's the next chapter, pets and people. Pets and people who have transitioned to the other side want us to continue. They not only want us to continue, they want us to continue in the best way possible. One of the things that I thought that I may talk about or expand about tonight, which I think is going to be next week, is about the purpose that I mentioned last week. That Pat, I think you posted a question somewhere. You posted a comment somewhere that said, "Do I think that my inspiration now, this drive that I have to continue my practice to expand what I'm doing, was it a gift from my husband when he crossed?" The answer to that is 100% yes. And it's not just a gift from him, it's a gift from all the souls on the other side who inspire me. It is a gift from my higher self, who I know has just been waiting patiently on the sidelines for me to come to this realization. So it is helping us understand what our own next chapter is and what that looks like in this life, and to live to our highest good, because it honors them. When we live to our highest good here on this planet, when we do the things that light us up, when we find joy again, when we start to laugh again, it helps us live our best life. And that's all that our pets and our soul pets and our soul people on the other side want for us, is to be able to live our best life. Uh, oh, yeah. And they're guiding us every step of the way. Every step of the way. They are opening doors for us. They are creating the synchronicities. They are holding us when we cry. They are with us all the time. They're with us all the time, and they still love us unconditionally, if not more unconditionally than they ever did. And they're our partners in this journey. We all now, every single one of us who has a soul pet on the other side or a soul family on the other side, has a team. You have got a team of amazing angels who are taking care of you, who are helping you through all of this, who will help guide your intuition, who will help you with making decisions, who will help you when you think that there are too many challenges for you to continue moving on. They're there to help you. They're partners. You aren't carrying this load alone. And it's more than just this community here. You have got a tribe. You have got a soul tribe. You have got a soul community of souls on the other side who are opening doors for you and guiding the way. So I will take a final look at comments in just a moment, but let me just go through this last little bit here. Universal, some universal thoughts. Loss is loss. We feel it. We have that word for a reason. We feel lost. We feel as if we have lost something, even though we now know that we haven't, and our logical mind tells us we know this, but sometimes that heart still feels the loss. Grief is grief. It's there. It is the wallowing of the grief that it's being burdened by the grief. It's being held down by the grief. When we can learn to rise up a little bit, I've mentioned before that if we can just find a moment of relief, not it doesn't have to be healing, but just that moment of relief. When just for a moment that heavy blanket of grief is lifted from us. That's what our animal companions want. So that little moment, but grief is grief. Connection continues across all species. It doesn't matter. We are all animals here on planet Earth, and we are all souls here on planet Earth. And that connection will continue forever and ever and ever. It doesn't disappear. It won't ever, ever go away. You will always have the connection with them. And I would say that healing is universal. Healing is a universal thing, and we're all on a healing journey of some kind. All of us are on a healing journey of some kind or another. And to walk this path together, to walk this path together with you, to walk this path together with all of the beautiful animal companions who've come to me, it's it keeps me moving on, and I hope it also keeps you moving forward. So here's what I wrote down. I've had to give myself every single one of these permissions recently. Every single one of these permissions I've given to myself, and I will continue to give them to myself. And I hope that they can carry you too. And that includes permission if you need to go and get yourself a gallon of ice cream and just sit down with that gallon of Rocky Road ice cream in front of the TV and watch a movie that makes you cry or makes you laugh and you just that that's perfectly fine. If you need to go get yourself a bottle of wine, go get yourself a bottle of wine. You have permission to do the things that help you find that moment of relief. You have permission to do the things that help you grieve. You have permission to do the things that help you heal. You have permission to do the things that will help you find happiness and joy in your life again. So, permission is not weakness. Permission is strength. Permission is love. Wherever you go, wherever you are tonight, whatever you need the permission for, I hereby grant it to you, even if it's just the permission to take your next breath, even if it's permission just to find the breath, to feel the feelings and to heal. And that is my message. You are not alone ever. You are loved. And for anybody who's watching this video, whether you're here with me live or whether it's 5 years from now or 10 years from now, there are people here. There's someone who loves you. And I want to tell you that you are not alone and you are loved. All right, guys, let me take a look at the comments real quick and then we're going to call it a wrap. I am just going to, I see the comments scrolling by, so I hope I love that song. I got a Amen Elaine. I love dogs. Coco, hello, hello. Good to see you. I didn't get to say hello to you earlier. Permission will permeate your being and soul if we allow it. Yeah, 100%. Love that song. I have to go back up to Hey Jude. Isn't there a song about you by the Beatles? Hey Jude. Oh, yes, there is. So, Jude, you shared your name. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to share your name. Yes, Scooby Doo, Scooby Now, Snooper's mom is Jude. Okay, let's see if I saw anything else. Yes, to the ice cream and the wine together. Why not? Ice cream and wine. I love chocolate and wine. Works for me. Yep, and you accept. Fantastic. All right, issued the permission slip. Everyone has the permission slip. All right, my friends, we're going to call it a wrap this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being part of this amazing community. Thank you for welcoming Jude into the group. And I love you guys all so much. And I thank you for all the virtual hugs. I have started to get through all the comments. I started to work my way through all of the comments over the past 2 weeks and all the videos. I at least got to give a thumbs up and a heart to every single one. And I'm trying to make a personal response to each and every one also. I will say a lot of them make me cry, and it's all beautiful tears and beautiful support, and I love you guys so much. All right, friends, have a beautiful week. I will see you again next Monday. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, have an awesome Thanksgiving, And I will talk to you all again soon. And until I do, may animals light your way. May all souls light your way. May every single soul light your way. Take care, everyone. Did I get to say hello to Kathy H? Kathy R? Don't remember. Hello, hello, and goodbye.